Yeah, that didn't happen. There was an election today? Oh no! Either way, quite some time. Hi, I'm Sock Marinette, doing business as bargain counter argument. I'm a middle-aged lady in a tiara talking about books, and this is going to be a vlog in which I clear the decks, as you might have been able to tell from the title, Clearing the Decks, a vlog, or whatever I end up calling it. This is something I decided to do because, as I've discussed in other videos and during my live stream, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, I recently found out that I have a pretty significant deficiency of vitamin B12 and an even more significant deficiency of vitamin D. Yeah, make your jokes now. Just go ahead and do it. I'll wait. And also my iron is low. It's not low to the point of anemia, but it is low. So I'm taking steps to address those issues with some help from my MD, of course. And I've been taking supplements for 2 weeks now, and I just started a week ago today. I started with a mega dose on vitamin D. I was taking just like regular over-the-counter supplements as soon as I found out I had a deficiency. My doctor said when it's as low as it was, she prefers to prescribe a mega dose once a week for 8 weeks and then switch over to the daily supplement. So I'm on the mega dose. And like I said, I just took my second mega dose of that. And this is one of those things where they're like, it can take up to several weeks to see a consistent noticeable improvement. And so it's like, okay, I'll just relax and enjoy, well, not enjoy being lethargic, but just try to relax and enjoy it as much as I can and not feel too bad about not getting stuff done, because I'm taking steps to address some of the underlying potential underlying causes of why I don't feel like getting much done. And over the last few days, I have felt a little more energetic and I've done more stuff. Now, I still have kind of like a midday afternoon collapse in energy. But at least it's a collapse in energy that follows actually having been able to do some stuff. So I'm getting more stuff done and I'm able to think a little bit more about what I want to do over the next few weeks and so on with the channel and in general. So as I'm starting this, it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday, June 5th. And already today, I've done a fair amount. I didn't leave the house, but I did do a fair amount in the house. I recorded my Flip Through Friday video, link in the description, and, made a thumbnail, wrote a description, edited, posted, and so on. And I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And I did some other stuff. And now I'm ready to clear the decks. And what I mean by that is I have some kind of lingering unfinished projects and some footage I never did anything with on my hard drive and so on. And I'd like to kind of close those loops, as the kids today say, or at least as the middle managers today say. So one of the things I want to do is I want to finish all of my library checkouts, and then I can do a library unhaul and return those. I have one library book left to read, and that's Big Fan, Two Friends, 82,490 Miles, and The Wild, Wonderful Sports We Love by Michael Schur and Joe Posnanski. Michael Schur, they have a podcast about sports together. Michael Schur is a television writer and producer. He came up with Parks and Recreation, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and The Good Place. Created or co-created in some of those. And has written a lot of scripts for those shows and so on. He's really funny. And Joe Posnanski is also a television producer, and I think together they have this podcast about sports. And this is about them going around and going to different kinds of sporting events, partially to see the sports themselves, but mostly to interact with the fans and, learn something about fandom thereby. So I'm enjoying it a lot. So, yeah. It's actually my mother's checkout, so she says I have until the 18th of June to finish it, so I'm fine. My other library books, I want to do the library on haul. I'd like to include this one in that, so I'm going to wait until I finished it. And I have one that I want to do a Flip Through Friday on, so I need to get that taken care of, and then I can return those books, and then I won't have anything at all out from the library. I think I might check out something because a friend recommended a book that I might want to read in June for a book club prompt. So we'll see about that. And then I have some other books I haven't finished. Never Tell Now. This was the book I got in the, the Romance Reveal book box subscription that I got, and I just told them what kinds of books and stories I like, and they sent me this book, and it is by Kimberly Chance. It is self-published. It is available on KU, so if you want to read it, go ahead and do so, because so far I'm about halfway through. I'm really liking this a lot. It is a small town romance. We've got a guy with some baggage and a gal with some baggage, and maybe they can find out a way to make it work for them. They will. It's a romance. So I'm enjoying that, and I want to finish it. I started it during Midweek Motivation a couple of days ago. I'm probably going to finish it before the next Midweek Motivation. I just, like I said, so these are the two active unfinished books I have, and I have a couple I started some time ago and didn't really finish. And I started this over a year ago, which is, what is it called? Autumn Rain by Anita Mills. It's a step back. Woohoo! Look at all those autumn leaves. And it's a historical romance. I believe it's Regency. Let's see. Yes. And it started, and you have the female main character is being treated with a little even more misogyny than you would normally expect from that historical period. And I started it, and I was just like, I don't know if I can deal with this right now. So I set it aside. I'm going to pick it up and see if maybe I'm in a better frame of mind for reading this story, or if I need to kind of set it down again. There's nothing wrong with the book. The writing was fine and everything. It was just like my own mindset going into it. And then I have another book that I started last October. My mom had a lot of meetings last October, and I was kind of driving her there, and sometimes I'd be waiting for her while she conducted her meetings in various locations. And I started this book, The Fixer by Helen K. Diamond, which is romantic suspense, and I'm on page 118 out of 372, and I was really, really enjoying it a lot, but I set it down and then didn't pick it up again. Other things kept coming up, and so I want to finish it because I'm really, really liking it, or I was really, really liking it, and so that's another book I'd like to finish. Those are those books, and I have some, like I said, I have some footage on my hard drive of when I put together. I got a bar cart. I put it together. It has books on it now. I have footage of the pieces before I assembled them, and of the finished bar cart. But then I didn't do anything more with that video. And I did that like back at the very end of December, the start of January. I haven't done anything more with it. So I would like to do something with that. Probably just fold it into this video, because I don't know that it's really worth its own separate video. So those are some loops I'd like to be closing over this weekend, and opening some as well, because there's a library book sale in Colchester, Connecticut tomorrow. And that's a nice library and a nice library sale. So I'm going to go to that. So that's what I'm up to, and in service of this video, I've already done my walkthroughs of the immediate piles of stuff I want to deal with here in my sitting room and next door in my bedroom. So I will put that in here, and I'm probably not going to record another talking to camera clip this afternoon or evening, because I am getting a little tired, but again, I'm getting tired, but it's in the aftermath of actually being able to do some things, so that's nice. So I think I'm just probably going to do things as I can, and I might not record everything, because like starting the camera, talking to the camera, that can create a friction point that prevents me from doing the physical things I need to do in terms of picking stuff up around the place and that kind of stuff. So we'll see how it develops, and yeah, so that's that for today. So it's about 1:45 in the afternoon on Friday. All of the blackout curtains are closed, so that's why I'm using artificial light. You can see a little bit of natural light peeking through. This is because it is currently very hot outside. I think it's like in the 90s, and also it's a sunny day, and I'm on the eastern side of the house, so I catch the sun in the morning, and then it just kind of stays hot all day. So by closing those curtains, I can insulate things a little bit and not run the air conditioner quite as often, not be quite as uncomfortable. But you can see that I do need to clear some decks, and this is just from this morning. I haven't made the bed. As you can see, the stuffed animals are convening. So that's going on. But this is what I'd like to be clearing up over. Well, at least I want to get this clutter tidied up a little bit. I mean, aside from the usual clutter in this room, I want to get these books tidied. These are some library books. Whoops, here we go. These are some library books I want to talk about in my library on haul. And then on the floor, there are a couple books I want to do Flip Through Friday about. I just did one this morning, and that's still over here, is the setup I did for the thumbnail for that video. It's already up. I put it up Friday, like about a half an hour ago. So I'm really happy with that one. It's this bulb catalog, the Van Engelen catalog. And while I was looking through it, I wasn't planning to do this, but I ended up talking about the tulip economic bubble in the Netherlands in the 17th century. So I talked about that, and I talked about the great images in that catalog and how one could use one and how one can get one of those catalogs. So yeah, there's just some basic tidying here, and this lamp is awkwardly there because it's where I put it. I do the Flip Through Friday. I sit in the chair, I put the object on the ottoman, and then I flip through it, and then there's this direct overhead light, which also needs to be dusted. While I do it, I'm trying to decide if I want to film another one of those or a couple of those, because they're things that's very easy to do them in advance. And so I don't know if I'm going to try to do any more this weekend or just let it go for now. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Meanwhile, here in the sitting room, which is where I film a lot of my videos, it's not too bad by historic standards. It's right next door to my bedroom, so that's why I have more blackout curtains that are closed, because again, we're on the east side of the house, so it can get kind of warm in here. Let's see, it's not so bad in here. I just vacuumed this carpet. I got this for cheap at IKEA, and it's nice, and I like the way it looks, but man, does it like attract stuff. It needs to be vacuumed fairly regularly. Let's see. I have some things sort of lying around from where I did Midweek Motivation on Wednesday. So this is the book I was reading during Midweek Motivation, Now or Never by Kimberly Chance. Thing that looks like a box lid is actually a sign. A slight edit while I turned it around. It says hooray. I found that at Pandemonium, a thrift store in Deep River, Connecticut, not too far from where I live. And now I've been holding it up during the live stream when somebody finishes a book, or has a birthday or something. I can hold up a sign that says, hooray, yay, look at that, look at that. So that's what's going on in here. I have some books that need to get organized, but I'm not in any particular hurry on that. Okay, it's almost 10 o'clock on Saturday morning, and I'm in Colchester. I'm in the parking lot of the library. I got here really early. I miscalculated how long it would take for me to get here, and I got here with a half an hour to spare before the library sale starts. So I took a stroll around the Colchester Town Green, a nice New England town green, and I hope I got B-roll. It's very warm, very humid, and I hope I got decent B-roll that I can drop in after this clip. So I'm just hanging out, waiting for the library sale to start. I'm a little tired, but mostly because I read past my bedtime last night. And then I woke up early. I didn't plan it that way. It just happened. I did finish my last library book, Big Fan by Michael Schur and Joe Poznansky. And I really enjoyed it. 5 stars. I'll talk about it more in my library unhaul video, which I can now do because I finished all the library books. That'll probably be up before this is. So if it is, I'll put a link in the description. Not much else to report. It's kind of a long drive over here. I think it took me like 35 minutes, and just saw a librarian come out the side entrance with a t-shirt that said the book was better. Yeah, usually, not always. So it is a longer drive, but it's beautiful any time of year, but especially here in early June. I saw a fair amount of dogwood and azalea, a lot of rhododendron, and pretty much every shade of green that is available in the natural world. So it's beautiful. It's just gorgeous. And let's see, after I'm done here, I need to stop off at a grocery store because we finished our muffins this morning that we had on hand. So we're kind of down on breakfast items. So I need to stop and see what I can find on the way home. And I think I need some sour cream because we still have chicken cheese enchiladas. We've been eating them. This is going to be the third meal we get out of that. And they're getting a little dry just because we did them think we did those on Wednesday. Anyway, there's still, so I've been directed to pick up sour cream. Yeah, so I'm just hanging around waiting for the library sale to start, and I don't know what I'll get. I will update you from my perspective in a couple of hours, from your perspective in a couple of minutes. So, yeah. Remember how I said I'd update you when I got home from the library sale? Yeah, that didn't happen. This is the update. It's Sunday morning, June 7th at about 10:15 or so. I had found some stuff at the library sale. That was fun. But on the way home, my car started making a sort of alarming, weird, rattly noise. And it was my favorite kind of alarming, weird, rattly noise. It was intermittent. And eventually I realized that it was only happening when I had the air conditioner on. So I was like, oh, okay. So I flipped it over to the heater and it was still making that noise. So it wasn't the air conditioner. It was like something was in the vent maybe. And then when I stopped at the grocery store, I rearranged the stuff in my glove box and that took care of it. So it wasn't even anything in the vent. It was just the vibrations were shaking something in my glove box. So it was fixed, but it was still kind of nerve-wracking to be driving home and being like, okay, I don't think this is interfering with the handling of the car, its ability to go forward or backward. It's more that there might be something wrong with the air conditioner or something. Anyway, like I said, it got fixed, but it was still a stressful drive. And then after I got home, I needed to just relax for a while. I was kind of tired from wandering around the library sale and the Colchester Town Green because it was hot and humid. So, that's can be a little enervating. So I edited my clips, then I had some lunch. We're still eating those chicken cheese enchiladas, and I did get sour cream, and they were delicious. And then I noodled around online in the afternoon, and then getting on toward evening, I picked up Never Till Now by Kimberly Chance. I was about halfway through it. I was about halfway through it, and I was enjoying it, and I continued to enjoy it. Let's see. I don't want to give spoilers. I thought that one aspect of the ending was a little too love solves everything and all you have to do is fall in love and then your problems are solved. It was a little too much like that. So I didn't really appreciate that, but it was still a 4-star read. There were a couple times when I was confused because somebody was giving a monologue and the way she did her quotation marks was kind of confusing to me. Overall, though, this was a very well-edited book. I don't know if she hired somebody or she's just that good at self-editing. I really like, in terms of the physical book itself, the binding is, it's binding. It's not a floppy book. It's got a tighter bind to it. But it was still, perfectly readable. The paper is just so smooth and beautiful. The font is I kind of really like the font. Let's see if I can get it out of the shadow of my device. There we go. And it's very easy on the eyes. And you have these nice, at the beginning of each chapter, you have this pretty design. And yeah, I like this book a lot. I'm very happy with having received it. This is Kimberly Chance, www.kimberlychance.com, also available on Kindle Unlimited. And so I don't know if I'll read the next book in the Dayton Springs series, but that's only because it's a second chance marriage and trouble kind of story, and those really aren't my favorite. But this one I very much enjoyed. Happy about that. So so that's one more book that I have finished. Let's see. I finished all the library books, so I want to do a library unhaul. That's why I'm all made up and stuff. And then hopefully take them back to the library today. It's Sunday, and this time of year, my library's not open on Sunday, and that's good because I can just return the books without borrowing any more. Later in the month, I do have a couple books I want to borrow, but for now, I have some ideas that focus on the books I already own, so that'll be fun. Let me see. Oh yeah, so I did that, and then I was kind of mentally restless, and I didn't feel like filming anything, but I did come in here to my sitting room and sort through some books. Originally, I was just finding places for the books I bought yesterday, but then I kind of went on this organizational binge, and I stopped when I was tired, so I made a lot of progress. But I still have a lot of totes sitting around. They're organized. So, like, I have a tote for library returns. I have a tote for books that go in one room, a tote for books that go in another room, and so on. So, I'll do a walkthrough clip at some point to show, like, the totes and how easy the progress will be, I think, once I get started on that. First, before I start doing that, I want to turn off the camera, put on a different shirt, and work on my library returns video, which again will probably be posted before I post this vlog. Okay, here's the walkthrough where I'm going to show some of the organizing I did yesterday. This barrel full of Raggedy Anns. Underneath them are historical romances that don't have step backs. I had to separate the collection somehow, and that's how I did it. This big tote bag, that's historical romances that are step backs. Those are going in the Heartfelt Hallway. Let's see, the burgundy colored bag, those are Western romances. Those go downstairs, and underneath it are, what is underneath it? Those are trade paperbacks that go in my bedroom. I can't, this bag is contemporary romance and romantic suspense. So there's that. And then that bag is library returns. And then this is just like miscellaneous stuff I want to tidy at some point. So I think I'll be able to shelve the books pretty quickly once I get started. But before I do that, I want to do some other stuff. Like the library returns video, I want to do that before I get all sweaty moving stuff around. Okay, so that's this room. And this is what I jokingly call my shame corner. And it's not too bad. I have a pile of books, some of which are going out to the car to populate little free libraries throughout Connecticut. Some of which are going up to the attic. And then some boxes that just need to be broken down and recycled. So, and I managed to clear off a, a shelf down here. So that's where some of those trade paperbacks from the sitting room will go. So I have optimism about getting this a little more cleared. Okay, I haven't recorded a clip in a while. I think the last clip I did was Sunday mid-morning. I had finished all of my library books. They were done. And after I recorded that clip, I returned them to the library. Again, I went on a Sunday when they're closed, at least this time of year, so that I wouldn't check out more books, because the idea was to not have any checkouts, and I don't. And while I was there, I checked out the little free library, which is next to the book drop. And I scored big time last time I was there. I got like 3 books from the Rena Kent series. What is it called? I can never remember what it's called. It's the Royal Elite University. It's the Royal Elite University series. It's like God of Wrath, God of Ruin, etc. I got 3 of those books, and the Royal Elite University always cracks me up, because it's like, if you're really an elite university, don't call yourself that. Okay. But I did actually do a vlog when I read the first book. It was my first reading vlog, and I'll put a link in the description. It was another Library Reads vlog. It was like reader versus library due dates, I think. So I got those things returned, and I stopped off at the little free library. And like I said, last time I scored big time, and I got a couple of other books. And when I got home, I realized I had taken 5 books, but only left 4. Oops. But I had some nice books that I was getting rid of, so I left 3 excellent condition hardcovers, including one that's a fairly recent release. They were books that I enjoyed, but I didn't see myself rereading them. And I also dropped off some categories. So I think I dropped off like 7 books total, and some of them were better than others because it was looking pretty depleted. The only, like half, the space was only about one half occupied by books, and like 4 of them were like mass market paperbacks that I've dropped off in the last couple of months. No takers, no takers. And let's see. So I did that, and then I fell asleep at 7 o'clock Sunday evening, and I slept until midnight, woke up for a couple of hours, and went back to sleep until 8 o'clock the following morning. So that was 11 hours of sleep plus 2 hours of just kind of lounging around, relaxing in the early, what is it they call them, the wee small hours of the morning. That's Sinatra, I think. And so Monday I was totally confused. I was just like stumbling around going, is this even a real day? I don't think it is. So nevertheless, during that time, Sunday afternoon and during Monday, I incrementally got some stuff done in terms of tidying around, like the physical stuff. I had all of those totes uh, full of books that needed to be taken care of. They're taken care of. They're shelved. And so that was 5 totes that I took care of, and they weren't, not all of them were full. So I think this is going to be the last day for this vlog. Originally I was just going to do a weekend vlog, but then, it's just kind of extended past the weekend, so I'm just rolling with it. One thing I did on Monday, aside from clearing the decks physically, I finished Autumn Rain by Anita Mills. Step back. And I liked it, but I wouldn't call this an historical romance. Yes, there is a relationship, but a lot of other things are happening. It is Regency for the most part. I think the first few chapters take place in 1807 and the rest of it takes place in 1812, 1813. And I would actually say that this is would have been better classed as historical fiction. It's certainly the grittiest Regency I've read. To me, it read more like historical fiction than historical romance, but I still really liked it. I really liked her sense of history. On the author bio, she says that she was an English teacher and a history teacher, and that she was combining both of those interests, passions, to become a writer of historical romances. And it really shows. I think that it's probably... I was talking earlier about the misogyny. The misogyny is just kind of the kind of misogyny that was sort of baked into that society So I liked it, but I don't know if I would recommend it as a romance. Okay, so I have one more book to read to clear the decks on the reading. Close those loops, as they say. The Fixer by Helen K. Diamond, contemporary romantic suspense. He's known only as Wren, that's W-R-E-N like the bird, a wealthy, dangerously secretive man. He specializes in making problems disappear. A professional fixer, Wren hides a dark past, but his privacy is shattered when Emery Finn seeks him out, and what she wants from him is very personal. Some people disappear against their will. Emery's job is to find them and bring closure. Wren is the only person who can help solve Emery's own personal mystery, the long-ago disappearance of her cousin. Just tracking down the sexy, brooding Wren is difficult enough. Resisting her body's response to him will prove completely impossible. I'm about 30% of the way through, page 118 out of 374, and what I like about this is like this mysterious, dangerously seductive Wren. We get some chapters from his point of view where he's hanging out with his friends, and there are also his employees or professional associates, and they treat him like a nerd, like he's a dork. Like they're like, you should get out, touch grass, that kind of thing. So I like the idea is that, in a lot of these books, these seductive, elusive, hyper competent men are just mysterious, and it's just like, no, he's a dork, and it's fine, it's lovely, he's still attractive. So I really enjoy that aspect of it. So I want to finish reading that today. I have some other stuff I need to do though. I'm all dressed up. I even have I have socks but no shoes at this point. I need to go out and vote. We are having a budget referendum for my fire district, and I'm going to make a couple of stops, pick some stuff up, and I'm going to do that, then come home and probably do some resting and relaxing before lunch. For the video, I want to do a walkthrough so you can see the progress that I've made, and I'm having one of those days where my nose it's just like crazy. So I'm like constantly manipulating it, and it gets like redder as the video progresses. So that's what's happening with that. I don't know what happened. It was fine until I sat down. I must have kicked up some dust without realizing it. Okay, so that's the plan. So I'm going to do that, and then I will hopefully, next time I sit down and actually talk to the camera as opposed to doing a walk around, I will have finished this book, and then the decks will be cleared. So yeah, that's the plan. It's an hour later and I did my errands. I wasn't planning to do an immediate post-errand clip, but I went to vote and I forgot that there's a nice little free library there. In fact, I actually went to the official opening of the little free library by where I vote. So I may have made an exchange. I'll talk about that in a minute because I also did some other shopping and I want to share that all at once so that if people want to jump to the hall, they can do that, or if they want to skip the hall, they can do that. I got my I voted today sticker. I always feel like I want to go to a different town and wear it around and just panic people. There was an election today? Oh no! I voted. I went to Dollar General just to pick up some powdered stuff that you put in water to make your drinks more amusing. I did that. Then I went to Stop and Shop. But first I stopped off at Marshall's, which is right next door to Stop and Shop, because I had a return to make, and I picked up a couple of things, some of which I can't show on camera because they are gifts for people who may well watch this channel. I just kind of, when I see things throughout the year at Marshall's, I just kind of pick them up, and then when I have enough stuff to send to somebody, I do it. It's the box of nonsense. So I can talk about the stuff I got for myself, though, and the exchanges I made at the little free library. I left 4 books, I took 4 books. I got this one, Barbara Metzger, Minor Indiscretions. This is one of those Fawcett Regency romances from, I believe it's from... There's no continuity here. What are you talking about? This is funny. This is a Fawcett Regency romance from... I know there's a copyright date here somewhere. 1991. I enjoy these. They're fun. Yay. But it's interesting because there's a sticker on the back for Linda Goodman's Sun Signs, which is not what this book is. And I got Sweet Enemy Mine by Anna Lee. Woohoo! Her sweetest enemy? Bras. So this is like a Scotland thing, and when does it take place? It's enemies to lovers, like true enemies to lovers, 1655. True enemies to lovers, because these are the Frasers and the Gordons. They had been enemies from time immemorial. Woohoo! And we have Wedding Game by Jane Feather. Oh, wait, when was this from? This is a chonker. It is from 1991. Let's see. Jane Feather, The Wedding Game from, ooh, it's a little messed up. 2004. From behind her opaque veil, Chastity listened to Dr. Douglas Farrell's distressingly unromantic requirements for a wife, wealth, and social status. Her instinct was to refuse a man with such mercenary intentions, but she couldn't turn away from a paying client. Oh my gosh! Oh, so she's a matchmaker. Ah, okay. And then it's like, I guess she finds out that he has his reasons for seeking status, and she's probably secretly a lady with status. I don't know. Looking forward to it. And this is... Okay, that's not a Book Barn price tag. Around here, I find Book Barn price tags on books all kinds of places. Library sales, used bookstores, other than Book Barn, and so on. Little free libraries and so on. And we have this. I'm guessing this is some kind of Southern claptrap, but ooh, isn't that pretty? It's a step back. I left step backs. All of the books I left at the Little Free Library were step backs. Let's see. Ooh, Clay Sutherland. Laura Talbot Harrow. Clay Sutherland. New Orleans. New Orleans when? 1813. Ooh, this is potentially dangerous. So that's what I got from the Little Free Library. Oh, I am a bit bedewed. It says super... If you're outside, it's nice because there's a breeze, but there's a lot of sun. I'm so red. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about... I found a couple of books and a candle at Marshall's. I found King of Gluttony by Anna Wong, which is number 6, I think. Or not. Yep, number 6. And I haven't read it yet. I think it's only $10, which is pretty good for a recent release. I believe these are on Kindle Unlimited, though. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. And I saw this one. I didn't have my reading glasses, my Clusies. So I hope this is something I want to read. It was a GMA book club pick, and it is A Song to Drown Rivers by Anne Lang. She birdie. And she's got the stenciled sprayed edges and the beautiful end papers. And this was a clearance book. I don't know why. It's not damaged or anything. $6. Copyright 2024. And it is based on inspired by the legend of Shishi, one of the famous four beauties of ancient China. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. And so it's an epic novel steeped in myth about womanhood, war, sacrifice, and love against all odds as the fate of two kingdoms hangs in a delicate balance. So, yeah. I was worried that it was like the second book in a trilogy. Okay. Now, I'm going to step away, hop into the shower before you guys start to worry that I'm having heat stroke. I'm not, just warm. And, the candle. It's this one. It's cute. I didn't have my Closies. It is Pursuit of Cappiness, and I think that's a capybara. I don't know how to pronounce that. Capybara. The little birdie on his head. It's cute. However, it really smells nice. It is jasmine, saffron, and cedarwood. That's interesting because when I was smelling it, I thought it smelled kind of fruity, but I have jasmine saffron candles that don't smell exactly the same because they don't have the cedarwood element. And, yeah, it smells really nice, and it is cute, and I love the color, too. That sort of peachy orange. It probably matches my face at this point. Okay, so that's the midday update. It's around 11, I think. Yeah, because I was only gone for about an hour. And so I'm going to have a nice shower, a nice cold drink, and I will see you back later. Okay, here's the shame corner. I call it that as kind of a joke to remind myself that just having a slightly unorganized corner of the room is actually not anything to get all that bent out of shape about. I like this corner because you can't see it from the bed. So I can just shove things here when I don't feel like dealing with them anymore, and I don't have to watch them. I don't have to look at them while I try to fall asleep. So that's done. The recycling is done. That bottom shelf is filled. It's all taken care of. And here is my super tidy sitting room. As you can see, I came through and spent some quality time on the couch, with the blanket, and then I didn't fold it up afterward. I lounged there yesterday while I finished the Anita Mills book, and I lounged there again today. So, and I didn't have to look at junk. It's all cleared. It's several hours later. After that last clip, I did indeed jump into the shower. I relaxed for a bit, had lunch. It was like a chicken, vegetables, and a Parmesan sauce over pasta. Quite nice. Very easy because it was just like one of those things you throw in the microwave. And did some more relaxing, did the walkthrough footage. Oh, and I did the editing for this morning's clips, and I was able to come in here, like I said, because it's all tidy and stuff in here. I was able to enjoy this space and read my book. I had this one, The Fixer, by Helen K. Diamond, as mentioned. I really liked it. 4 stars. I like her writing style. And this is the first book in the Games People Play series. And I am definitely going to be looking for more from this series, and probably more by Helen K. Diamond just in general. So 4 stars on that one. Let's see. So this vlog ended up being a lot longer than I expected it to, at least in terms of how many days it covers. Because like I said, originally it was just going to be a weekend vlog, and now it's been like several days. But I got most of the stuff done in terms of clearing the decks. I think I mentioned several days, from your perspective, it was the beginning of this video. From my perspective, several days ago. So, you know, either way, quite some time, that I had this footage of when I put together my bar cart, and I didn't end up doing anything more with that. I think I may just do a video on like creative solutions for book storage problems. So I'm not going to stress about that either way. I got the reading done, got my library books, I'm at 0 checkouts, and I started this book. I think it's been over a year and a half since I started this and decided I wasn't going to read it. And I mean, at least I wasn't going to read it then. I'm now finished it, and I started this one last October, so it's been over 6 months, and I didn't have any trouble picking it back up again. I knew exactly what was happening. So yeah, so these two long-standing unfinished books are now finished, and so I'm pretty happy about that. I got a lot of stuff cleaned up. You can't complain about that. And I really appreciate your joining me for this. I thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed what you saw here, please like, comment, share, subscribe, or don't. I'm not the boss of you. I'm barely the boss of me. And I hope you have a good day or night.